Hello viewers, you are watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Suri Balde. We are back again on another edition. It's Wednesday, the 27th of March 2024. And of course, wherever you're watching us from, good morning. This is QTV. We are broadcasting live on our studios on Kairaba Avenue, the Gambia. And I have Julde Njai with me. Julde, how are you? Good morning.
Fine. Good morning to you, Ibrahim. Good morning to our viewers and good morning to my Aliu. From wherever you're watching us, it's always good to be back on this platform, Ibrahim.
Absolutely. Yes, and you know, back to back, our newspaper review guest is no other but QTV's Aliu Cisse. Good morning, Aliu.
Morning, Balde. It's a pleasure to be back on this program, and good morning to my Julde. It's always a pleasure to be on the program.
Yes. I don't understand. There is something that I'm hearing. My Aliu and my Julde.
My Julde, yeah.
What is happening? Is there something that I should know? Yeah, so we are back, and the program is sponsored by the OIC Secretariat, and of course, Lido and Olinda Tea, Lido Coffee. I mean, I miss coffeeing in the morning. It's Ramadan, and today I think it's the 17th.
No, I think today is 14th.
It's 14th?
Yeah. This is Secundas.
No, Ali, I've already fasted, 17th. I mean,
oh, really?
Don't drag us behind, boy.
I thought we are 14th.
So, I mean, we also have the cow milk from, you know, the same company. That's Lido. You can have the milk in different, you know, different types of flavor. We have the full cream and half cream as well. And the tea, it's wonderful. As you know, when you break your fast, all that you think about is getting some hot water, at least to be able to flush your system as well. So the program is sponsored by the OIC Secretariat as well. As you know, we are getting ready to host the biggest, you know, the second biggest convergence of leaders. And it's going to be very interesting. A lot of projects have been, you know, are on. And we are hoping to see, you know, the ending of the OIC summit, summit in Banjul. So, gentlemen and lady, once again, good morning.
Good morning. Bye.
Why are we all in black today?
I don't even know. What a coincidence. I was like, when I walked in the studio, I was like, wow, what's going on? My Julde is in black, Balde is in black. I also came in black.
Men in Black.
Huh?
Did you watch that movie, Men in Black?
No.
Yeah, I think I watched that movie like when I was going to school. Will Smith and his colleague. So that was it's a nice movie. So on the program, we will be looking at the Q&A, questions and answers with Imam Jah. Then the newspaper review, Aliu, it's here for that. Then we'll be talking about the Rent Amendment Bill. Honorable Madi MK Cisse and Honorable Suleiman Jame, they'll be here. This is a very important topic. As you know, rent affects, you know, many people's lives here. So it's important for us to delve into this and, you know, see what are some of the things highlighted, you know, in that bill.
And it's good that, you know, we all comment, of course, Honorable Madi MK Cisse, who is the initiator of the bill, for really actually having the idea to come up with such a bill. And of course, the committee chaired by Suleiman Jame for also doing a wonderful job in ensuring that, you know, we have this amendment bill just to, you know, for to protect our tenants, because they are really going through a lot at the hands of the, you know, landlords, you know, who think they are about the law.
Absolutely. Yes, quite interesting, you know, topic later. Let's take a look at the newspaper review.
Q&A?
I'm told there is nothing like Q&A today.
Okay.
Yes, but
it's something I would really love to see continue even after Ramadan. The Q&A is very
maybe
important.
we can bring Q&A
maybe twice a week.
Maybe we should not just focus on religious
issues, but you know, societal issues.
You know. So NAM to seek power of attorney from Jammeh to sue government. I mean, we've seen the phone in NAM there. Almami Jiba. Our son, he's always busy saying a lot of things. Yes.
So yeah, that's Almami for you, and I mean, knowing who Almami is and most of the NAMs from the Fonyi area, I mean, they're still loyal to Jammeh. And when you look at the issue of assets, I mean, related to Jammeh, I mean, there has been so much questions as to whether actually they were sold at the value they were worth at the time. Many are claiming that, I mean, most of Jammeh's assets were just more like a giveaway. I mean, they were sold at the price tag that they should have been sold at, and because of that, I mean, we even saw a story recently relating to the Jammeh's cattle, as they will put it, that they said, I mean, weren't, I mean, sold at the value that, I mean, they should have been sold. So there's a lot of talks, I mean, surrounding Jammeh's assets, and I'm sure that's why Suleiman, Almami Giba is seeking the power of attorney to sue the government and perhaps, get further clarification regarding, I mean, Jammeh's assets. I mean, like I said, this is something that has really been going on since Jammeh left. I could remember, I mean, even after the Janneh Commission, I mean, we interviewed the then Minister of Justice, I mean, Abubakar Tambadou, about, I mean, the sale of Jammeh's assets. I mean, was Jammeh, contacted and all those things. But yes, it's really going to be interesting. I mean, like you said, I mean, he is trying to seek an attorney power just to able to, I mean, sue the government, but it's really going to be interesting.
Well, I mean,
absolutely.
It's a very complicated matter here we are talking about. I mean, the issue of Jammeh's assets, once Jammeh left the country, I mean, the state put its hand on his assets regarding all that belongs to Jammeh belongs to the states. Some of his assets were already freezed. I mean, so looking at what the NAM is saying here, I don't think the government will even take a look at some of his comments.
Yeah, but that will depend on the courts. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, we have a much more independent judiciary now. I mean, we have seen people suing the government and winning cases. So it will be too early to really, confirm or to say whether the court will accept it or not. I mean, we are in a democratic country where I mean, the separation of powers is there. There are checks and balances. We have independent institutions. So yes, certainly, I mean, he might have what he's looking for. I mean, that's to sue the government, and the government will also go to court and defend itself.
Yeah. I think it will be really interesting for people to know, because the issue of Jammeh assets has been something that has been ongoing for far too long, and people do not seem to know what is really going on, because others are claiming that key members of the government are really the people who really bought some of these assets, and others are also claiming that big business tycoons bought these assets at a very cheap price. So it will be interesting to drag this matter to the court. Like Aliu said, the judiciary is more independent than ever before. So it will be interesting to know some of the revelations that will be coming out from the courts. At least it will help clear the air for people to know what really transpired as far as the assets are concerned.
Exactly. I mean, let's leave that to to see what will come out.
Yeah, we are going to follow.
We are going to follow
developments
as well,
and see what happened next.
Yeah. So here, the leader of the United Democratic Party, lawyer Usainu Dabo, is saying, he asked the Supreme Court to nullify FJC and Rambo Jata's appointment.
Yes, I mean, the case has been in court for a while now, and I think, I mean, the latest witness is Kemo Bojang, who is also a member of the United Democratic Party. The party is asking the Supreme Court to nullify the appointment of course, FJC, that's Fatmata Jawon-Basise, a former Speaker of the Parliament and a supporter of the APRC, and of course, Rambo Jata, who has also been a very strong supporter of the APRC, who are both serving in our mission in Joburg, that's Johannesburg in South Africa. But I mean, a couple of months ago, we had that they have resigned from the APRC. Like I said, I mean, the matter is still in court, so I mean, we wouldn't be able to comment much on it because it is before the court. Yeah. But it's also an interesting case. I mean, because at some point, I mean, they were talking about, I mean, for example, diplomats, trying to involve themselves in politics and all those things. And I'm sure, they are getting several videos of perhaps Rambo and FGSC talking about politics and UDP and other parties as well. So I think they want the government to nullify their appointments, but whether the government will heed to or not, that will depend on the outcome of this case at the Supreme Court.
Exactly. So Senegal's president-elect calls for reconciliation and peace. I mean, most people were not sure how will Jomai, assume office, whether he's coming to retaliate or not. But I think the only way out is to reconcile the country. Don't you think so?
It's very important because, I mean, he's taking over a country that is deeply divided, I mean, as far as politics is concerned. I mean, considering the events that preceded, I mean, the elections, I mean, the cancellation here and there. I mean, there were several arrests. I mean, thousands were in prison. So it's going to be difficult. I mean, for me, that is the most important right now, to see how best he's able to reconcile a country, because I mean, you're going to spearhead the affairs of a country if the people are not united. Even though it's going to take time for him to achieve this goal, but I'm sure it's possible. It's Senegal, but yes, it's important because I watched his first public address. I mean, engaging with the media on Monday. I mean, it was broadcast live on the Jotnat Facebook TV, and I was watching it live. And he spoke well. I mean, he spoke about the need to bring on board all those who are, all those who are involved in the elections, to make sure they're able to take Senegal to another level. And he, in fact, promised that he's going to govern Senegal. I mean, with humility and transparency. But certainly, I mean, people expect a lot from him. But also talking about reconciliation and all those things, so that wouldn't mean, I mean, they are going to, throw everything under the carpet, all what has happened.
They have to look into certain matters too.
Yes, so they are really going to strike the balance here. Reconciliation, but not forgetting what has happened in the past. So it's important.
Well, I mean,
that reconciliation is key.
Yes, I think Jomai, have a lot of things on his plate. Absolutely. Because the expectations are high. Remember, this is a youthful government, and the youths are expecting a lot from him.
Absolutely. For me, I think the issue of Senegal and the Gambia, they have unique similarities, considering the events that were leading to the elections. In the Gambia, it was Ousseynou Dabo who was in prison, and subsequently, it was from his party that we have Barrow, and then from there, Barrow, a lot of expectations, because he was really steering a divided country. People were thinking that, a cross-section of the society were saying, okay, he should really ensure that, that witch hunt issue should be there. But there are people also who are concerned about the peace and ensuring that there is justice, reconciliation in the Gambia. It's a process. I know these things take time. It's not as easier, said than done. These things take time, especially peace. It's true that a lot of things transpired in Senegal, protests there, some of them lost their lives and everything. But the most important thing, it's like he said, is to be able to bring everybody under one umbrella. I think the issue of Senegal is a bit different from the Gambia, for the fact that Senegalese people they don't have the issue of that much tribalism in their, politics, unlike the Gambia, where, everything before has to do with tribalism, which was deeply rooted here. But for Senegal, that's not the case. At least they were able to see their country first. At least you could see that there is that collectivity,
Senegal.
Exactly.
which I am really proud of, really, for the fact that they see their country first, no matter what. Most of them wanted Maki to go out. Most of them wanted a system change. Most of them wanted to see that there is an end to corruption and for transparency to come back to the system. And I think that is what Jomai promised, and he has a big task ahead of him, trust me. If he thinks this is just an easy ride for him, just like the election, it's not going to be easy, because the Senegalese people are watching him, and they expect him to deliver to expectation.
Exactly.
And as much as we are excited that for the fact he's a young person who is coming on board, and we have a lot of expectation, and we are really enthusiastic about the things that he is coming on board with, his government, as far as, corruption is concerned, as far as transparency is concerned, as far as making sure that Senegal gets back on its feet to be the, proud African country that everybody is known for, as far as democracy is concerned. It's really a big challenge.
Yeah, so I like the fact that he got the backing of very prominent and, experienced people, the likes of Ousmane Sonko. I listened to one of his speech. He said, okay, we are going to take Jomai to the State House. I mean, we are not interested in his image. All that we are interested is our agenda. We have an agenda to sell, you understand? So at some point, if he did not abide by our agenda, we will still pull him back and tell him, this is the rule. This is what we want for the Senegalese people. And I'm also surprised to see the likes of former President Abdoulaye Wade. You know, these are all people that are going to back him. So maybe we are going to see Jomai, but there is a lot of things going on behind.
So certainly, I mean, Jomai is there, but we have to understand, I mean, when you talk about the new government, it's not all about Jomai.
Yeah.
It's just like the project. This project wasn't just about Usman Sonko. You see, if this project was all about Usman Sonko, immediately he was sent to prison, he would have said, if not me, then no one. But guess what? Even when he realized that he wasn't going to contest in this election, he identified someone. He pointed to Jomai, that Jomai is me, I am Jomai. So that shows that there was that unity of purpose. They have a project that they all believe in.
Exactly.
So even after they had banned Pastef, they still went on. They believe in their agenda. They believe in, you know, what they stood for. And the Senegalese, you know, bought into the idea. So for me, it's all about believing in what you think is right. I mean, going after things that you think, yes, I can make a change. And that is exactly what we saw. So for me, this is a whole project that they all believed in. It's not about a party or what.
Individuals.
It's about what they all believe in. It's not about who leads. Sonko will have said, okay, I'm in jail, so I don't care. But he said, no, I'm not going to contest, but Jomai will.
Well, that's it. I mean, I believe in their perseverance and, you know, commitment to what they believe. You know, I mean, at some point, maybe some of them would have cross-carpeted. Nobody knows. I mean, we have seen that happening in other countries. So believing in what you want will give you exactly what you want. Yes. So, Julde, the OIC said OIC Gambia finalizes, you know, most of the, I'm not saying this properly.
Which paper is that?
Yes, I think most of their logistics are almost finalized. I mean, maybe they are talking about some of the projects.
But that's what we expect. We have less than 40 days to the summit. The summit is on the 4th and 5th May. And before that, you know, you're going to have the ministerial meeting, which is going to precede the heads of state. And I think it's important that, I mean, they understand that, you know, time is running out, and this will make sure everything that is needed for the summit is put in place. I mean, but like I said, I mean, for me, the summit shouldn't just be about, I mean, hosting the event, but we should also look at the impact that these projects will have on us as a country. I mean, I remember I hosted the CEO of the OIC Government Secretariat, Ambassador Yankuba Diba, on State of Affairs, and for him, his nightmare was more about accommodation, but he can comfortably tell us now that, I mean, they are ready. We have what it takes to be able to host, even if all the 57 heads of state are to attend, they can host them, even though, I mean, we don't expect all the 57 heads of state to come to the Gambia, but at least, you know, they can comfortably say, I mean, we have what it takes, we have the facilities, we have the hotels that can accommodate all the guests that will be coming for the summit. So for me, I mean, it's about time that we all see this thing as a Gambian thing. This is not about, I mean, the OIC Secretariat, this is not about President Barrow, this is not about Usainu Dabo or anyone, this is about the Gambia. So we should all come together and so that, you know, we have a successful hosting of the OIC summit. I don't think anyone should be out there trying to say or do certain things just to sabotage, I mean, the hosting of the summit. It wouldn't tell well about us as a country. And as a smiling coast of Africa, I think we should all embrace this thing, including the media. We should all be talking positively about the summit.
Well, this is a step in the right direction for the country. I mean, at some point, you know, where it's going to take our name in history, I think it's important. Senegal have hosted it, you know.
Senegal hosted it twice.
So
1991 and 2009.
Who knows? Maybe we are going to host it again. Nobody knows. But it depends on how we received it, how we handled it, how we are able to unite as a country.
And you know, Bali is a big thing. The OIC Summit is the second largest world gathering after the UN General Assembly. And having a country as small as the Gambia in terms of land size, I mean, giving that opportunity to host the OIC Summit is a big thing. And I think for me, every Gambian should be proud of this. every Gambian should be proud of this thing. You see, there are certain things, it gets a certain level. Let's put aside our political difference.
That's the problem.
Let's see the country first. And for this OIC summit, that's to really be in play. I mean, we should all see this thing as a Gambian thing and not, like I said, the president or the government. This is about us.
It doesn't belong to only Adam and Barrow.
Because at the end of the day, when you look at the impact, the projects that the summit comes with, all of us are going to use that Bandari highway.
Exactly.
All of us are using the 20 new urban roads within town. So for me, let's focus more on the positive of the summit.
Yes, let's focus on the positive impact of this summit. That's very significant. Julda, I think we need to take a leave of Aliu for him to go and do one or two things upstairs. You don't have to delay our news, Aliu.
Yeah. So I will go with my Julda. So Julda, you can go.
I don't understand. My Julda, my Aliu. What is happening? I need to understand this day. Okay. All right.
It's not for here.
All right. No problem. So thank you very much, viewers. We'll take a short break. Be reminded this program is sponsored by the OIC Secretariat. And of course, Lido and Olinda tea. We also have cow milk. I mean, in the evening, I'll take that one and milk at home. You know, the other sachet of milk disappeared few months ago. Yeah, so we'll take a short break. After the break, we will be engaging the Honorable National Assembly members on the Rent Amendment Bill. We'll be right back.
Gambia is proud to host the 15th OIC Summit on the 4th and 5th May 2024. The second largest gathering of world leaders, kings, presidents, rulers, prime ministers, along with delegates from 57 member countries of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation will gather in our beloved nation for this historic event. The theme of the summit is enhancing unity and solidarity through dialogue for sustainable development. It's a platform to foster cooperation, promote peace and drive sustainable development across the Ummah and the world at large. We call on all Gambians to unite and support the government as it strives to host a memorable and successful event. Let's showcase our hospitality, culture, and the beauty of the Gambia to the world. Join us in making history. Let's stand together, united as one, to ensure the 15th OIC Summit in the Gambia is an event to remember. Together, we can make a difference.
yaa ko laajte QCell jox la ko yokkute am na si suñ promo bu bees bii di suñu bundle mega promo léegi mun nga dugga si internet bi si noo ko buggee ak num gën a yombee jëndal suñ data bundle package boo bugga te nga am si wàññite bu màgg dialal star 303 # pour nga mun a jëfandikoo internet bi si network bu gën a yaatu jëndal 20 megabytes data bundle léegi si juróom-ñaari dërëm ak genn wàlla bu dul loolu nga jënda biga bundle lu dem ba 20 gigabytes waaw dégg nga ma 20 gigabytes data bundle ak suñ mega promo bundles bi mun nga jëfandikoo internet bi waxtaan si lu yàgga ñu jokkale la saa su ne fu ne pour am si lu leer mun nga call QCell customer care si 111 QCell ñoo xaali yoon bi ñeneen toppa lii dafa ànd ak sarta yuñ tëral.
The future is now. With QCell's 5G network, experience speeds like never before. With our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan, get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled device. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
QCell moy suñu boss. QCell moy suñu boss. QCell moy suñu boss. Soro go ebe dawa full network suda tili QCell ni lafta diamla wati jamala mune diata QCell most reliable network dumala geta wati QCell wo quality man nyon soda jam ona manke QCell hanibe wulo ni farole kono walante be bakono jala fayola network o se taria QCell suñu boss ñoo fi njëkk a indi 3G ñu dellu taxi 4G plus and now we bring you 5G. 5G. First and only 5G provider. Tell her follow adi doron nesa keno. Gambia bela nyon tawo fele QCell. Ko fasunta buka busi QCell. Tell her multi milka kukutol nati Gambia QCell made a lori la kilianol yele imanjina amanda wala itelle ka quality dila dadi ma itelle silo wala wodol mume be keno ma. QCell sunny boss QCell sunny boss QCell sunny boss QCell sunny boss. Connection be bambandi QCell sunny boss. QCell most innovative QCell sunny boss.
Welcome back. You are watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. This program is sponsored by the OIC Secretariat, and of course, Lido and All in the Tea. Of course, I mean, let's move on to the second segment of this program. On Tuesday, December 19, 2023, the esteemed member for Serekunda West, Honorable Madi M.K. Sise, presented a significant bill before the lawmakers aimed at amending the existing Rent Act of 2014. This legislative proposal introduced with a vision to modernize the rental landscape in the Gambia. Outlines various provisions addressing landlords' responsibilities, tenants' surplus things, rent increases, and other pertinent matters. In the studios, we have Honorable Madi Sise and Honorable Suleiman Jame. Welcome to this program, Honorable.
Thank you very much, Mr. Balde, for having us here. I want to use the opportunity, as far as the rent bill is concerned, to congratulate my colleague, Honorable Madi M.K. Sise of Serekunda West constituency, for initiating and bringing this important bill, and thank God it is passed. So we want to thank him and congratulate, and equally thank the entire parliamentarians.
Honorable, once again, welcome to QTV this morning.
Thank you very much for having us, and I must also be grateful to the media, because since I started this issue of introducing this private members bill, the media has always been engaging me, and like the media is my second constituency, as I have a background in journalism. And I want to thank my co-chair, is the chairperson of the regional government, IC and Ombudsman. When the bill was first read, it was committed to these two committees, and the two committees did very well at an outreach across the country to feel the pulse of the people, so that it can be reflective of people's desires. So I thank you very much for having us.
Yes. So, Honorable, before we delve into the topic itself, I'm curious to know, what does it really take for a NAM to really table a private members bill?
That's a very important question. As people's representative, your principal responsibility or duty is to legislate laws. So, as a legislature, charity should begin at home. Bills come to the parliament in three ways. Government bills, and that constitute the greater part of the chunk, when ministers will come with bills and we will ratify them and they make them into law. And then we could also come with private members' bill to fill gaps that government did not fill. So really, the push factor here is, as a representative of the urban area, rent is a big issue, and I live within it. During my campaigns, it's several times been talked about, and it's talked about everywhere. So as a result, that was the push factor to really come with something that can address the desire of the people I represent. That's really the reason.
All right, so let's delve into the topic. I mean, what are the key provisions of this rent amendment bill?
The rent amendment bill has three major areas to address. The issue of increment, because rent increment is not controlled, and Therefore, as a result, landlords will just come up any point in time to say my rent now is from 3,000 to 5,000, which is an exorbitant percentage of increment. And gauging the income of people, when I say income, not only people who earn salary, but people who are also doing their own private works. Looking at that, you look at that kind of exorbitant increment of rent. And it has no time frame. It can be twice, 3 times in a year. A lot of people have queried that, well, my rent has been increased more than 2, 3 times in a year. And usually it's sometimes 100%, sometimes 300%, sometimes 40%, sometimes 50%. So one of the areas that this amendment has come is to kind of maintain that and regularize it by bringing a clause which says that you cannot increase your premises more than 5% within 3 years. So you see, one, the increment is pegged at 5%, so you cannot come and increase your rent by 100% or 200% or 300% now. And the other issue is, even though you can increase it with nothing less than 5%, not more than 5%, that's maximum you can do is 5%. But even with that 5%, you cannot do it more than beyond 3 years. So meaning that the person who is paying rent at any amount he or she is would at least be comfortable to say, okay, at least for 3 years, I know I can be paying this amount. You can do your own calculations. I say, even if my landlord increases by 5%, you do your calculation, you know, within 3 years,
how much you are expected to pay.
So that is one area it has come to address. And the other area it has come to address indirectly is the issue of advance payment. In the old Act 2014, the rates are divided into 2 classes, low cost and high cost. And the low cost is 3,000 and below. And this 3,000 and below, the law 2014 Act is saying that anybody who's paying 3,000 and below, the landlord can only ask you to pay on monthly basis. You cannot ask for 6 months when you are paying 3,000. But anything above 3,000, the landlord has the right to say, pay me 6 months or pay me 1 year. So the amendment has come to amend that portion to raise the bar from 3,000 to 7,000, looking at the realities on the ground now. We know that rents now are really 3,000. You can have them, but really very rare.
It's rare.
Not within the municipality. So that bar, the amendment raised the bar from 3 to 7,000, meaning that now all those who are paying 7,000 rent and down can only pay on a monthly basis. The landlord has no right to ask you to pay 6 months in advance. So these are some of the things it addresses. And yes, and as the discussion goes on, perhaps I would call out the areas.
So in terms of the penalties, what are some of the penalties that are in the Act that if a landlord happens to violate some of the Act, what are some of the penalties? Is it really included in the Act?
No, usually Acts would not bring penalties. Penalties are really in the Offences Act. Yeah. So any offense, if you go to the Offences Act, it will tell you that this is the penalty. So that's not included. But once you have really violated that, you know that we're not only protecting the tenant, we're also protecting the landlords as well. There's a clause that really talks about that. So any of them, either the landlord or the tenant who really breaks the law, well, really the law will take its course upon you. The other area that we keep emphasizing is the issue of people asked to pay in hard currency. That is not even an amendment. That is already in the 2014 Rent Act. It is illegal for anybody to ask a tenant to pay in hard currency. So it should be upon the tenants really to challenge such cases in court. And many a time, if you have this kind of fora, I would tell the viewers and listeners that one way really to catch them is, for example, if I want to rent a house and you say, well, you're going to pay me in dollars, I said, no, I'm not going to pay you, then I'll just walk away and then I lose getting that. So, but pay. Ask for a receipt in that currency, then go and sue. You're already in the house. Then go, after 2-3 months, go to the court and say, well, he charged me this and it's in hard currency. So he will be punished by the law.
Yes, I mean, at this point,
and then you will be protected. You will not be evicted in the house.
Yes.
So, Honorable, being the chairman of this very important committee, really, what does it take, the role of the committee as far as bills are concerned?
Thank you very much. Basically, since the bill was committed to the committees, our role was to go out there to, at least have a public hearing, do proper consultation, which we did across the country. So, and most of the time, because we set up special questions which we normally post to the public, and majority of the Gambian people are with the opinion that at 6 months advance payment is not in line and is, is not right. And the increment also, and equally the conditions of the properties that the landlord normally give out for rent. So, in fact, the bill is trying to regulate a fair play between the tenant and the landlord. So, basically, as we are speaking now, the bill has been passed. So, what we want to emphasize here for both the tenant and landlord to understand that there is an amendment in terms of deposit or advance payment, and there is an amendment on the increment. So now, as he said, these are some of the things that we made, and now it's left to us as Gambian or citizen to be able to understand that these are laws that are already in place, and we need to, respect the law. So the issue of penalties or whatever, because already when you set a law, if you violate it, you just have to go to the court and challenge it.
Challenge it, absolutely, yeah.
Yes, I mean, very important.
Local language, because it's very important for people to know what
so
is really.
Before we delve into that, I would like to ask Honorable Madi on this question. What are some of the challenges faced in drafting and passing of this bill?
Well, as we speak now, I can say it's challenge-free. But before, like when we came in 2017, then the parliament did not have its own legal department. So as a result, to come up with a private member's bill was a big challenge, because you must get somebody who will draft it for you, and that is costly. But over the years, we are able to establish a legal department in the parliament. So it's all you need to do as a parliamentarian to come with an idea of legislation that will be beneficial to the people. And then there's a form you will fill in the parliament to our legal departments, and then we have our drafters there, our lawyers there. They will take you through all the drafting. So it's at no cost at all as far as members are concerned.
Honorable Jame, is there any provision that is also protecting landlords as well?
Yes, already the act is there. That is the 2014 Act. So, but like as he said, Honorable Madi, came up with these 3 clauses just to try and, have an amendment. And these amendments are there to protect both the landlord and the tenant. Because the thing is, if you are giving me service, you should give me proper service, then I will be able to pay for that service. I cannot be paying your house and you are not giving me proper service, or you treat me anyhow. Anytime you can come and make your increment, say okay, I'm increasing or whatever. So there should be that cordial relationship between the landlord and so. And in fact, this bill is trying to address that, because if you go to the object and reasons of the bill, it seeks to address that. Yes.
To be specific, yes. If you go to I think around section 13, it is saying that as a tenant, if you get into a landlord's premises, you went, you look at it, you like it. You must make sure that you treat it. Anytime you are leaving, it must be left in one piece. You cannot just get into somebody's house, mess it up, and leave it there. That protection is there. If you do, then you are liable as a tenant. And secondly, you are also liable to. You are also in the amendments. You're supposed to pay your rent not later than the 14 days in the new month. So if you fail to do that, then the landlord has the right to cancel your tenancy agreement. So these are some of the protective clauses for landlords, so that their houses will be kept in one piece, and also you must be regularly paying. If you default, then the tenancy agreement can be
I think
revoked.
for that aspect, I don't think it will be that much of a problem, because what they do now is before you actually get into their houses, they ask you to pay a security deposit, maybe of 10,000 or 15,000, in case if you were to leave, if anything got spoiled or damaged in the house, they can use that money to repair it. If there is a balance, they refund you. If there is no balance, they keep it.
Yeah, that's
so
true,
that is how it works.
But during our interactions with the population across, before we finally come, we met a lot of people. In some gatherings, we'll have both landlords and tenants, and this thing has come up all the time.
All the time.
There are, in several meetings, landlords have explained that they have really lost, some of them have lost their property to zero. Because by the time the tenant left the house, it's almost damaged. And then the 1 month that they are asking could not really take care of all the damages. So that's why this clause is also that, so that the burden will be on the tenant, so that the landlord's property also is kept.
All right. So at this point, we need
for our
local...
For the sake of my jolas and my series, you know, I always protect them. So, does it apply to Momi Yalonko already, Iberento la dulato? Coming for instance, Iberent la dular, Korami Yalonko, coming ala conditional, mambete abake, but you're paying at a very high price. Does this really apply to those people as well?
Yalo bunga conditional amendment ya capture demanding the wala nata be increment kala anyanta ila liwela bunga da la fala with all this small percentage bari anyanta jubele ba la fala dal la jumale kan fote fenne la fala bunga me la bunga wala roñin samba sando foy make o crosso bi jele but bunga like be bunga no saying bari bunga
conditional mam betea
wo loi ni mawota loi menjita wala ñun ko loi sla de anyanta bunti nyanta bunkendo de la loi sla de loi sla fa na fundo bunkendo anyanta to le loi sla bul ba saying ni nata nga bun la condition ban de lafta la wona well na bun mam condition mam beta ba ke bare la no ko ñene be mbul isonta alom agreement la o loi mon kunno woto bar ni bun me ba di la nyanta kala bun me ala halos beta kadu bun dol bije ni ajibe pour ka moyta sabatrinje ala yata kenda ala kodul ka kola.
Okay. I mean, very important message. What about what is going to be the duration for a landlord to notice a person to leave his or her house?
Womu kari sabalet.
3 months.
Yeah, because kufula le bije evacuation no bijele kabunto lafta mo funtina la bu ila bu. Evacuation, something ka more evict on certain conditions. Ibe karasaba no til dilala won til tankononto bole bari wo fanate kala dala kumoti abe kala saferol. In terms of notice to evict somebody, it must be 90 days, but it has to be written. You have to write to the person that in 3 months time I need my premises and things like that. Issue of da fanan lafala til tansabalet til tansabako tokono ise saferoke but fanan benyante kala saferot. In terms of increment, it should be written. All these things should be written.
What about maintenance, Honorable Jammeh? Maintenance. Who is responsible for maintaining the property? Is it the landlord or the tenant?
Basically, wala nanko ni ba service dealer. So itemi mu landlord ni be la property dealer. Yanta make sure le I fit for purpose. And nunu mol bije yale ka jole. But there are certain issues that are dependent on the agreement ba kala nyam bari na millong wala nyindu ko ni place wo di pri ba renda. It's just like itata hotel auto rek ye hotel bungo they do all the services for you. So bar nyindo like ila sokoyel bungo la tinya dol bije tenantial min bije nyante notify la rek ka foye ko nyine bije nyin ko le akole bije so purisina e kamijo yena ya invest je wala tumodo e kaje dol bije ni ton ma kino isafo tenan ye ko you ite nyinge then after nga bondi bare nyimbe mu agreement lati bar min kuma taje wala nyindi ko maintenance so nying o ba landlord la karol wala nan koko landlord sol e nyante la bungol wala la property dealer le based on the standard of the property and kaje ko falang based on the standard inyantela rent falang joro determine la wala nyam.
So in terms of dulani mfanan kantu dol ka fole ko komi mbum fulani salo dol sa fono ne wuli lulu dol sa fo wuli tang alio fanan jibel act fana yo address la ban fama address because ka dol jele bun killing walem cabinet fulani anin salo dol ya fo ko wuli lulu dol ya fo ko wulu tang for price so ni alia regulate le bank as part of the act for act more address
ani in 2014 parent act nin ani amendment act manje ma bari na kacal ko ni moli ul benata ideal sole ite quand même volume classification ani bon classification hani dim cla regional classification bu membe jola kobo banko kanya ni bu membe jola makati warante bansa warante basi ko fam classification nyande kala hani jam fond dam man yajo bu membe ni nata pipeline area jola kata fu fajar ma fa ani membe coastal Senegal men area ma fa sifal be wom classification net because amendment private members act belonging sometimes a konos for the bara kono bu ka fanu ne wona ay limitation no sotale bari nga jiko soto ko man sekunda ko eni bilo binala le ni rent amendment bill ni bill do bina mela ko avec le holistic one net so nga nyim point non fanan betala nge kafunyoma ni man sekunda la o nata tu ato wati bol be dunaje bi ko classification sambe te moment lundo man sula la ba say nga won nitle bu la classification
ala yalo ni wonte njola ni serelo do ko le wala kala ni badi molo kaya isela bu ngotale ya fa say control bi jele 6 months tije ba say dawo da diyata nyembe ole fola adu mote kuno laje na ma regulate
bari nga lon akumayata le especially in 6 months advance payment ay mo jamal batande mo jamal fanka silale kata bungo nyininka because ika 6 months payment mem fo ake affect bakele. Okay, what about this agent fee as well?
Thank you.
Agent fee, okay, be sambala ye bungo yenjo wo fanan ngamira wo be address lalde
yalo mimbije wala nyinti ko agent ko fende mi yalon ko say nsa fono abakerine so eka agent tol sotole both organized agent and local agent mi yalon ko ni bot disparate ring elafta bungola you go and meet them tomorrow they condition you for them to take you to the property you have to pay them and whatever. But agent coining falang akata fenati during our consultation the general public ya condemn le. So ya condemn nyami wala nyindu ko ake batandele because akamulung la faro le kake. So and it will intermediary between the landlord and the tenant. So mimbi je wala nyindu ko we hope ko as he said ning the bill, the holistic bill on nata, we'll look at that. Maybe ka condemn totally. So jibe no back because tomorrow dol falam bije wala muila trade. So but ka organize in such a way landlord ni ba property dealer agent or ba dealer agent holder wo I attending tenants will deal directly, just like other countries will kake nyaming. So but ngalo ne ko locally janga ba nyaming I afale mukole ya quality, you know, because tomorrow dol ka fen la jel rent nun tole andong pour ka chabo fama dila and they will demand
kodo ha foye kodo di
kolata bakela no mol ya condemn le so I need a regulation and na dia ala regulate la because ni dunda ko kono e kana ko doje bika kono ka fan so ni agent la ko ka bin tara consultation public hearing na utula funta kendeke so atare ko dol men de data bare ani say ni ko be na parking lot kono le ngaje ko agent tol wol ni ta regulation la ka akare aka bunga joni aka la fa
tonya
lafta bunga jala 300 jo 800 jo ni aso de ko 1000 or 2000 so
odo yata de 5000 e kada di wala
so it need abe regulate la same wala hid nyuna ko rent agents la ko abe regulate la mo wafale ba la but it has to be regulated
so signing
yeah go ahead
ko nyim bas fine below ni ya pass sign what is next because ngalo nye pass road dama wo it's not enough for sensitization or take aning kudo aning kukote. So what is next as far as this is concerned?
Exactly. Wala be kala na next phase. Second phase long kamol kalamtan de loi la sotola. Ani ni atare ya wosi da sur loi kunya nyanta tala dame. Kato nene be program do kol dunda ko sai mol la bata dabe dame ni te loi ko kole asoto. Ibita bunda juma la konkon. Na long ko ni loi is on the Minister of Justice. But ibe bunda mem fulo konkon woni la municipalities. Ni be KMC bita KMC la ila official let. Ni be belong ko eta fenko la kavaja chapa. Mo wala council be dam loi kunya because council loi so la unit soto jele. So ni mo kole ko ni soto. Wala ni ntara sai nga fanya loi ni pass la sai be men kala sai ambe president dans la signature da mone badla o fana constitution limited date diala asa sign do ngalon ka ba sai ne ko ne man soto na loi de da murna député bon la ba constitution fana sembo de president ni loi de da tataka fana sa cross na la ay hakil la faran soto je asa la faje a murninka ni député sonta wala sata ni man so ale ba murna ka ni man so nyina de o den am any option soto bor ka sign so ngalon ka te mela loi ni be sign na sign de afanya next phase ni wolom kamol kalamtan dala loi ni sotale ne ko la ko so de nyanta mun kala loi la clause ñole munafo munamu ni te mun ko le kala la njuro de bunto e mun ko nyanta kala la njuro o fu fen wolom sensation inshallah na de atala wolom ka second phase na lo ko the two committees will put heads together nga jibe bo karaja but ngalo already atelier commencé le faba because you know because na program saba for nanity QTV be ñun kol kacala ñun they are all about sensitization but in ofana makala function tal dina ata fo president ya sign akere lowadi because second phase
yo oto ngalo ne time mo le ñinne soto ala barka bake kontanda bake alla du ko fana nga ñiata katum kanyin bil sifal ka kele pour ay keluwati fenna me yalon ko akumala because rent wala mo jamala life affect you know so fenna me yalon ko akumayata julde this is all we have
for nimol nata tomorrow for another edition of this morning program.
Thank you Honorable Jame and Honorable Jubate for coming on the program. Be reminded this program is sponsored by the OIC Secretariat and of course Olinda Tea, Lido and Cow Milk. Until we come again tomorrow, have a wonderful day. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Bye.
Gambia am nañ mbégte ngir taxawee jotaay bii di fukkeeli yoon ak juróomi OIC Summit ci ñaari fan ñeneenti fan ak juróomi fan ci weeri mai 2024 dinañ dalal ay buur ay njiiti réew ñu toppa ci njiiti réew yi ak ñi nga xam ne ñooy taxawal seeni réew ci mbootaay gi ñu tollu ci juróom fukk ak juróom ñaari réew ñu bokk ci Organisation of Islamic Cooperation ñoo fee daje ñu war leen a dalal fii ci réewi Gambia teeru leen sargal leen bu kenn dootut fàtte ñu war a dajee ngir mun a waxtaan càmbar ñoo amee jàmm ak bennoo mun a mànkoo si lu ñoo jëmale kanam ak yokkute du rek si suñuy réew waaye àdduna wërngal képp loolu tax na ñuy sàkku ci ñëpp ñu defati ko nañ ko daan defee àndandoor bu taaru bañ ñu xamee woon jàppale nguur gi dañ am ko niñ ko bëggee ci xew-xew bu màgg bile na aada ak cosaan gi génn ñu yaatu ak taaral jikko yi comme niñ ko daan defee wane suñ bopp ci kanami àdduna yépp nañ leen bokk a def taarix nañ leen mbooloo songa ko daan ko